Hi, I'm Dr. Clarice, and I want to tell you a little bit about the concrete ceiling. What's the concrete ceiling? Well, it's part of my research of over 7 years, crashing through the concrete ceiling. We hear a lot about the glass ceiling because, see, the glass ceiling was something that was created for white women in the late 60s, early and 70s as they climbed the corporate ladder. And it's glass. You could see through it, and they had to break through the glass. But African American women never had that opportunity. Our ceilings are concrete. We don't get to break through concrete. If you don't believe me, go outside. Try to break through the concrete sidewalk. Concrete has to be crashed through, but in our case, chiseled through a little bit at a time. So, how do we change that narrative? First of all, we've got to understand the research crashing through the concrete ceiling, the impact of informal networks, mentors, career sponsors for African American women seeking career advancement. Wow. And what's the difference in that? What's the difference between a mentor and a sponsor? I'll give you an example. I'm going to talk to you first about mentoring. Everybody wants a mentor, but are they effective? So ask yourself when the last time your mentor opened a door for you. Now, your mentor is great to call and chat, tell them what you think, tell them how you feel, maybe even help you prepare for an interview. But can your mentor give you access? Think about it. Here's an example. I'm going to go to my mentor, Betty, and I'm going to ask Betty. Clarice is going to ask Betty for some advice and tell her about her new opportunity to interview. And Betty's going to tell her that she's going to help her and all that. And then Clarice says to Betty, "Hey, Betty, you know Bob." "Oh, yeah, I know Bob." "Well, Betty, can you call Bob for me and tell him or send him an email and tell him that you've been mentoring me for the last year, 2 years, and how impressed you are with me and how you feel that I would be a really good candidate for the job?" Betty says, Clarice, I don't really know Bob that well. I'm like, Clarice goes, "Oh," because she thought that Betty and Bob were like pretty tight, right? So that's your mentor. Your mentor is your cheerleader. You can do it. So what is your sponsor? This is your sponsor. Your, your sponsor does this. John walks up to Clarice and say, "Hey, Clarice, listen, I know you've been interested in working in this area and there's a promotional opportunity coming up. I've been watching you, I've been working with you. I really like how you manage your workload and how you interact with our clients. And Larry, do you know Larry Fish?" "Oh, no, I don't really know him." "Well, Larry is the hiring manager. He's a really good friend of mine. Larry's having a barbecue on Saturday, Clarice. I would like for you to come and I'm going to introduce you to Larry." "Oh, thank you. What time?" That's your sponsor. Your sponsor is the person that give you access, that can open the door for you, to give you visibility. And what does that mean? That means your sponsor puts his career on the line for you. Yes, you, because he believes in you. That's how you get to the next level. In my research of over 7 years, I asked women, black and white, the difference between a mentor and a sponsor. 80 something percent of the white women said the difference. They knew the mentor's role and they knew the sponsor's role. When I said, which one is more important? The white women said, "Oh, sponsors." When I asked African American women, 90% of them basically said that mentors were more important. Which brings me to why we do not have the positions that we have in corporate America. We want to say it's racism and bias, and it may be. It may be. But how do you cut that bias and racism? Because it's up to us. We've been in this country 425 years and we're still talking about the same thing. So how do we change the narrative? We change the narratives by thinking change maker and risk taker. That's how we change the narrative. So you find a sponsor. You ask somebody, would they be willing to sponsor you? Not anybody, but people that you know can make a decision, that can give you access, that has the power. Because I have never in my corporate world life met somebody who I asked to sponsor me or consider it that said no. But most of us don't ask. And if you don't ask, you don't get. So think about it. If you want to crash through the concrete ceiling of anywhere, entrepreneurship, work, whatever, you've got to find a sponsor. Mentors are nice to have, but they're not a must-have. A sponsor is a must-have. I am Dr. Clarice. Let's go.
This is brought to you by Kansas City Business Association, working to improve our community.